Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Everything Podcast. My name is Lou from the BX, aka Louis Balboa, aka Dominican Lou, whatever you would like to call me, aka your favorite podcaster's favorite podcaster, aka Captain fucking America. Yeah, that's right. And I'm coming to you today from Delray Beach, once again, beautiful Delray Beach. It's very early, probably the earliest I've ever recorded, but I've got a busy day today. So I thought I have many topics to talk about, so I figured why the hell not do another podcast. I think this is the third episode this month. What a record. I usually do one episode every 3 months, and I did 3 episodes in 1 month, so how about that? I guess you could say we're on a roll here. But good morning to all of you. Thank you for tuning in, logging on, clicking, following. Speaking of following, if you would like, you could follow me on Twitter at Lou from the BX, or you could follow the podcast show on Twitter at the E-Podcast Show. You can follow us on Instagram, The Everything Podcast, and you can also follow us on Facebook, The Everything Podcast. We got 3,000 plays, which it sounds phenomenal to me, at least. It may not sound phenomenal to some professional podcasts out there. I would not call this a professional podcast. This is more of a basement, underground radio podcast thing. I just do this for fun and for my friends who do like to listen to this. I'm not, I don't consider myself to be a professional podcaster in any way, shape, or form. This is a one-man show, and it is going to remain that way forever. Well, I'll never say forever. Never say never, never say forever, but, you know. This is a one-man show, and it's not exactly the most professional thing in the world. So, 3,000 plays for me. The fact that my little podcast, has been clicked on 3,000 times by someone or anyone to listen to is crazy to me. So, don't think I don't appreciate it. Thank you to Podbean. A great hosting service for podcasts. If you ever want to start a podcast, I highly recommend you go to Podbean first. Look around all you want to, but they're the best. And, thank you guys so much for that. I have an announcement to make. Your boy Lou from the BX, aka Dominican Lou, I'm not going to do it again, but your boy Lou from the BX is going to be making an appearance tonight. That's right. On the Stick to Sports YouTube show, hosted by former ESPN analyst Robin Lundberg. Robin Lundberg is one of the hundreds of people who were laid off by ESPN last month, and it's a damn shame because that guy, they should have held on to him. And I'm not just saying that because I'm about to be on his show, but Robin Lundberg is somebody who I listened to for many years. When I was working the morning shift and I had to be at work at 5 in the morning, that guy was always on in the morning. He kept me awake on the road when I had to take that hour-long drive to go to work. I had the Robin Lundberg show. And he's a young dude. He's got great takes on everything. He's a hip-hop head. He loves geek comic shit. He's a knowledgeable sports host. He knows his stuff. He's witty. He's quick-minded. And he had a great show. I just... when I first started listening, he had an hour-long show at 4 a.m. and then at 5 a.m. he had another host who had another show that was an hour-long show, but they would do it together. And then his name was Jared Max, just for completion's sake. And then they'd go into 6 a.m. and then Mike and Mike would come on and they'd take over for 4 hours and do whatever the hell they do. But those 2 hours for me were every morning I was listening to that show. Even on those days off, my days off, when I would wake up and be awake, I'd put on my phone and I'd stream it because, I didn't like the ESPN app, so I use TuneIn, which shout out to TuneIn Radio. That's a great app, another app if you like streaming radio or podcasts or audiobooks or live NFL games, NBA games, hockey games. Did I say NFL? NFL games, any kind of sports that's live that you would like to listen to on your phone, TuneIn's got you. I use that app all the time. But anyway, I segued into something I didn't want to segue into. I will be appearing on the Stick to Sports program tonight at 8 o'clock. If you're not doing anything, I highly suggest you go to Damn, I had the link here. I'm going to have to look that up when I take a break so I can get you guys the link. But anyway, I'll post it on my various social media sites. This is why you need to follow me on social media. Instead of me having to read out a freaking link here, you can just click on a link and go to wherever you need to go. But it's, I believe it's callintosticktosports.com. And I'm going to be a panelist on that show tonight. I may or may not get on. I spoke to the producer. We had an interview. And I should be getting on. I'm going to be in the queue. They should cut to me. I'm hoping that they do, because if not, I'm going to feel really stupid for promoting something that I'm just going to be waiting on. But I'm pretty sure that I'll get on today. But anyway, it's pretty exciting. I'm a big fan of Robin, and his show is pretty cool. I think they're up to, this will be episode 13 of Stick to Sports. It's a show that he started when he was still at ESPN, and he was doing on the side. And then I guess, you know, he got laid off. Now he's doing stuff. I think he's doing freelance stuff now for Sports, not Sports Center, Sports Illustrated and some other places like that. So, yeah, man, your boy Lou from the BX is going to be doing that show tonight. It's going to be fun. I'm very excited. I'm nervous, but I think it's going to be a good time. And that's really all the announcements I have for today. Just thank you guys again for all the support. I appreciate it. Shout out to my wife, my biggest fan, holding a nigga down. And, oh, I'm glad I said that. So, tonight, don't expect any, if I do get on, it's going to be extremely PG. Because they don't have to be PG, but they try to keep it PG. And that's fine. I already spoke to the dude, and I asked him, I said, listen, is there any cursing whatsoever? I've listened to the show. It seems pretty clean. He's like, well, we try to keep it PG. And I was like, yo, that's no problem. It's not an issue. So I just want to be sure that what to say and what I can say. So I'm pretty sure I'll be able to keep it in check, but you never know. So maybe you should tune in and check it out. Yeah, today I want to talk to you guys about a couple things. I want to talk to you about Tiger Woods and Tiger Woods, Kathy Griffin, who cream pied the internet this morning. I really have no other description for what the fuck she's doing. Talk a little bit about Donald, and I definitely want to go into the Portland tragedy that happened a few days ago. I don't want to get too morose on the show, but I do want to talk about that because I think it's important. And yeah, man, we got the NBA Finals tonight. Finally, freaking, it feels like it was forever ago the last time that somebody played. I haven't really paid too much attention to the NBA because, you know, the Knicks have ruined my sports life. But I definitely paid attention to the last couple of games, and I think I'm going for the Cavs. I really think so. I have no great love for LeBron or anybody on that team. Yeah, they're former Knicks, but once you leave the Knicks, I really honestly don't really care about you. I am a team fan, not a player fan. So if you're on my team, I love you. If you're not on my team, you can kiss my ass. So, but with that being said, all these fake ass Golden State Warrior fans who are not really chirping that much this year. They've been chirping the last couple years, but this whole Kevin Durant super team, they're all nice guys, and for some reason, they're really unlikable to me. I don't care for any of them, and I don't care that Steve Kerr's sick. I feel bad. I'm not getting any sympathy for that. I don't give a shit. I'm sure, hopefully, he'll be fine. I have no rooting interest really in both teams. But I wouldn't mind seeing Cleveland win. Just to piss off Miami Heat fans a little more. Just to keep pissing them off. Because you know what? You guys have this fucking coming. Because you guys were so cocky. And you treated Knicks fans so shitty during that era. That guess what? It's time to pay the fucking piper. The check always comes due. And when I look at my memories, I always get reminded of the bullshit you guys used to do to me and send me and fucking tweet me and post on my wall every time the Knicks had to play the Cavs. And when I have friends of mine telling me, "Oh, you're gonna come tonight? You're gonna come watch the game? I want you here when LeBron's fucking dunking all over you." Remember all that shit? Remember that back in the day when it was all fucking good? Well, guess what? LeBron left, and now he's winning championships. And you're not. We aren't either. But guess what? It's a known fact that we're trash. So that's okay. But the check always comes due, motherfucker. And I want LeBron to win another ring, so all the Heat fans can kiss my ass. Does that sound petty? Well, it is. That's why one of my other nicknames is Petty Wop. Because I'm a petty motherfucker. But in any event, the NBA Finals are tonight. Like I said, I will be picking the Cavs to win this game, even though they're away and Golden State's rested and the Cavs are rested. The Cavs have lost one game this postseason. The Warriors have lost 0 games this postseason. Would it have been dope if they would have both been undefeated and played in the finals? Yeah, it would have been dope, but I don't really think it makes too much of a difference. That one loss was they fell asleep. Celtics beat them one game. No big deal. But anyway, moving on. This morning I was scrolling through my newsfeed, and aside from the Kathy Griffin thing I saw a story about a dude in Orlando. And these are just quick shots. These aren't even really the topics of this episode. So these are just quick little things I wanted to mention. Some dude in Orlando was at the airport with a fake gun waving it around. This motherfucker created a 2-hour standoff at the airport because he was waving a gun. No one knew what the hell was going on. It's just a dude with a gun. And turns out the gun was fake. And the guy was taken into custody. Motherfucker, you are lucky you did not get your wig pulled back. Okay? You people out there, you fucking psychopaths out there who don't know what to do with your lives and want to hurt people and do these things. There was a guy on the Palmetto fucking Memorial Weekend shooting at people on the fucking Palmetto. Yo, if I would have seen that guy doing that shit, I would have ran him the fuck over with no hesitation. I would have knocked that motherfucker into the other side of traffic and he would have got run over on the other side. I'm ramming you. All you fucking psychos out there. This is why I'm like afraid to get my concealed, because I got like that fucking hero comic book. I've read too many fucking comics and seen too many movies and too many kung fu flicks. And I got that fucking hero gene inside of me. And if I see some shit going down, I will get involved. And, you know, it's not fair to my wife that I'm like that, because she gets scared. And I'm not going to stand for bullshit. So I would have ran that dude over. This dude at the airport, I don't know how he's alive. I don't know how they didn't gun his ass down. Because if you're waving a gun at an airport, you should be shot immediately. I don't give a fuck. Fake gun, real gun, it don't fucking matter. If you're waving a gun in the air, motherfucker, you need to be shot. You need to be deaded, because there's no reason. I don't care for the reason. It's over for you. And again, I don't know how this dude made it alive. But I think these cops in Orlando are like, they were very, they were very careful, or they just gave this guy all the patience in the world, and maybe he turned himself in. I don't know the full story, but all I know is that he was waving a gun at the airport, and the motherfucker's still alive. So, God loves the stupid. That's really all I can say about that. But, yo, this is the Everything Podcast. I'll be right back. Hey, hey, this beat go hard. Hey, Drake made the podcast. You already know what it is, ladies and gentlemen. Everything Podcast. I am back, and I am playing this song because the President of the United States The president of the United States, Donald Trump. I still can't believe that when I say it. That's just incredible to me. But this guy decided to tell foreign dignitaries and intelligence officials to contact him by cell phone. Well, better said, to contact him on his cell phone, his unsecured cell phone. He wants foreign officials and intelligence officers and dignitaries to contact him with information on his cell phone. So, if WWE divas can get their cell phones hacked and their naked pictures posted all over the internet, why do you think they can't do that to the president? What do you think he has on his phone, going by his Twitter? I don't think that's a very smart idea, but he's the fucking president, so what can you do? They voted him into office. Yeah. Well, speaking of the president, Kathy Griffin made news this morning, headlines across the world, really, where she was doing a photo shoot. I don't know if it was for TMZ or TMZ broke the story, because they're always breaking everything, so thank you to TMZ for the pictures. She was doing a photo shoot for something or other. I don't even know what it was. And somebody decided to hand her a prop to use in the photo shoot. And the prop was a bloody severed head. Now, if you would think that that is controversial, you would be correct, because that's kind of not cool. Whenever you think of that kind of thing, you always think of Daniel Pearl. Americans who have, and not just Americans, just people in general, humans that have had their heads, cut off in foreign countries. You don't really hear too much about that in America, but I'm sure it happens. But you would think that that's already, kind of a touchy thing. You can say, oh, it's art or whatever. Well, she decided to hold up a severed head and take photos with it. It just so happens that this prop severed head was a replica of Donald Trump's head. So she's holding up a bloody, disgusting, severed head of the current president of the United States of America. Now, if you've listened to this podcast before, you know that I, more than anything, have been extremely critical of Donald Trump, of Donald Trump's choices, of how he handles things, of how he chooses to speak to people. And I've left a lot of things out because I didn't want this podcast to become a bummer. Like, I didn't want to be coming on here every week and talking about how much I fucking can't stand Donald Trump and how I think he's an idiot. I didn't want to do that. I chime in every once in a while with something, but for the most part, I keep my opinions to myself. But I have been vocal about it. I don't think he's fit. I've said it before. I just as a person, I don't think he's really knows what he's doing. I don't even think dude can read. But to hold up a severed head of any human being, much less the face of the country, because whether you like it or not, he's the guy. He's the president. He's number 45. He is the face of America. Like it or not, he's running shit. He's in charge. He's the president. You may not like him, but he's your president. He's my president. I live in America. I'm an American. He's the president of the United States of America. So guess what? He's the fucking president. And maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm, old-fashioned. Call me old-fashioned guy. But you should respect the president, at least at the very basic level. As a human being that's in charge, you should respect that. Just like when I'm at work, I have 18,000 bosses. Everybody's my boss. Technically, I am a boss. I'm a supervisor. But in my mind, the way I am, everyone is my boss. Everybody. My employees, they don't tell me what to do, but there's things that they need, and I need to get those things for them. Which fucking reminds me. Anyway, I was saying something here. Everybody's my boss. I have literally 6 bosses at my job. All of them, at any moment's notice, can tell me what to do, and I go, okay, I gotta go do it. None of this, you're not my fucking boss. Fuck out of here. I may think that in my head sometimes, but guess what? In a professional environment, I got a job to do. I try my best to get it done with what I have. And when somebody throws something else on my plate, I try very hard to get it done. And if I can't get it done, I let whoever needs to know why it could not get done and when I'm going to get it done. That's just respect. It's just respect. I work for this place. They pay me for what I do. They pay me very well, not for nothing. So, with that in mind, if I'm being told to do something, I gotta do it. The President of the United States is everybody's fucking boss. So, holding up a severed head of the president, she should be thrown out of the country. There's free speech, and that's fine. See, people seem to have this misnomer about free speech. Like, they think that free speech means that I can say whatever the fuck I want and you can't do shit. That's not how it works. In America, you have the right to say whatever you want. And thank God for that. That's why this is the greatest country in the world. Because I can go to Starbucks and just stand up and go, oh, you motherfuckers, you all stink and I fucking hate all of you. I can stand up and do that because I have the right to free speech. I'm allowed to say whatever I want whenever I'm thinking it. Now, the flip side to that coin is that I can be punched directly in the face. I can be arrested for public disturbance. I can be insulted by all of the people in that place because they also have free speech. Now, I said I could be assaulted. No one has the right to assault you unless you're assaulting them, of course. But that doesn't change the fact that I can be assaulted for what I'm saying because I may piss people off. You may really insult someone who's like, I've been stinking since 1992. How dare you say that I stink? It's part of my life. And then fucking somebody throws some shit at you. It could happen. You know why? Because while you may have the right to say whatever you want, that doesn't mean that you should say whatever you think whenever you want. That's a pretty simple rule. If I worded it weirdly, simplifying it is just that every action has an equal reaction. So I may say something, that something is going to get a reaction. That doesn't mean that I could just say, I hate lamp. Walk into a lamp store and say, I hate all lamps. Lamps are horrible. Lamps have been ruining this country since 1873 when they were invented. They should be thrown out of here. I'll be thrown out of the lamp store for acting crazy. That's a really stupid example. I'm just saying that because there's literally a lamp right in front of me. But just because you're allowed to say things, that doesn't mean that you can just not be held accountable for the things that you say and or do. And this woman, she obviously, the funny thing is that she apologized immediately after these pictures hit the internet. That she knew she fucked up. Now here's the thing. Obviously, this is Kathy Griffin. If you're not familiar with her, she's kind of like everybody always wants to refer to her like as a D-list celebrity. I don't really care for that description. She's a comedian. She's raunchy. She could be kind of thrown in that insult comic kind of, niche. But I've never really considered her an insult comic, but she is very direct with the things that she says, and she doesn't come with indirects. She just says shit. She doesn't really have a filter. I found her funny a few times. So she's always toted the line of like, she's always toted the line of safe and not safe comedy. So it's not out of her character to do outlandish shit. But this is something else. And she, apparently, when these pictures came out, she put an apology out there, and now she's deeply saddened and embarrassed, and she apologizes to anyone. She knew exactly what the fuck she was doing, bro. She was a comedian and all that, but she's also an attention grabber. And this was, you gotta know. If I'm doing a photo shoot and I'm there taking pictures and posing and whatever, and dude is like, yo, here, you want to use this? Here, use that. And I'm like, yo, don't fucking put that shit, get that shit away from me. I don't know what the hell that is. What is that? Fucking bloody head. Yeah, let me just hold up a bloody head just because, yo. She knew exactly what she was doing, is my point. She knew exactly what was going to happen. She knew that it was going to blow up the fucking internet. She was probably like, I'll just do it, and I'll apologize later, and in a couple weeks it'll blow over. I just need to get these hits right now. She needs to be lambasted for this. And she said something like along the lines of, I'll probably have to flee to Mexico after these pictures come out, which is another thing. Why do these celebrities think that they could just say that and like Mexico is just, yeah, sure, I'll just go to Mexico. Like Mexico wants you over there. Or all these people who said that they were going to go to Canada if Trump got elected, which by the way, none of them left. They're all still here. Like, she could just like, I'm just going to go to Mexico. I'll probably have to flee to Mexico. It's like, bitch, that's just not funny. Like, you knew exactly what you were doing. You knew you were trying to get attention. And it's disgusting. It's not funny, number one. I looked at that picture for a good, I don't want to say 10 minutes because that's a long time to be looking at anything. But I was looking at things for a couple minutes. My wife was getting ready to go to work, and I told her, I said, when I saw that shit, I was like, wow. And I showed it to her, and she was like, oh, yeah, I saw that. And I'm like, yo, I can't even process this shit. Like, this is not fucking cool. So she apologized, and I can just tell her, if I could, fuck you and your apology. Because that shit is insincere as fuck. You don't mean that. That is not a sincere apology. You're not sorry. You don't care. You're sorry that you're getting the backlash. You're not sorry that you took the picture. So, Kathy Griffin, you get the fuck out of here. I was going to play the drop, but I'm not going to put that in here. So, moving right along, I ran into a story that, and I don't want to spend too much time on this thing, but lately I've been feeling like out of touch with like, not pop culture because that's the wrong word, basic central society, really. And this is something that I want to talk about on another podcast, so I don't want to delve too deep into this. But I saw a story this morning, and I just don't understand things anymore. There is a makeup artist who resides in LA. His name is Vinny O. Vinny O-H-H is how you spell his last name. He's 23 years old. He's a successful makeup artist in LA. And I was reading a story about this man, and he has spent $60,000 plus so far to transform his entire body to look like what he calls a genderless alien. So if you have a chance, please Google Vinny with a Y, Vinn, space OHH from LA, 23 years old, makeup artist. He spent 60 grand so far, because he's not done, to become a genderless alien. This fucking guy looks like Roger from Family Guy. I mean, not from Family Guy, from the other show, The American Dad. He looks like the alien from American Dad. So, that's not even the story. Because there's pictures of... He literally looks like Roger from American Dad. He looks... The face... He looks like Roger. He doesn't have the bulbous head because he's got like this fucking frilly little... straight up curly, mohawky, fucking faux hawk curly shit going on top of his head. And then his face, he just looks like fucking Roger from Family Guy. He's got like grayish skin. His face is elongated. He looks like a fucking alien. Or what you've been told what an alien looks like, because we don't even know what fucking aliens look like. By the way, they are aliens. And we're not going to go segue out there. Or let's reel it back in and go back to Vinny O from LA. He looks like Roger from American Dad, if I haven't already said that 27 fucking thousand times. So that's not even the story. This guy wants to remove his genitalia entirely and be genderless. He wants to, like, his whole thing down there, his twig and berries, his unmentionables, his scrumdiddlyumptious, his fucking, his shoots and ladders, his Nestle's Crunch. He wants all of that gone, and he wants to look like a mannequin down there. He basically wants the tube that you urinate out of to just be a hole down there, and he can just pee, and that's all he wants to do. He doesn't, the organs and everything, he wants all that shit gone. He wants nothing down there, inside and out, nothing. He wants the smooth mannequin look. This guy has already had 110 procedures to try to get this conversion going. And this motherfucker had the nerve to say that he wants to adopt. Oh, shit. Because he says he wants to remove his thing, and the reporter was like, well, do you know, like, you're 23, like, what if you want to have kids later, in 10 years from now? Because, you know, when you're 23, and I know a lot of you 23-year-olds, if you're listening to this podcast, you think you fucking know everything, and you're smart, and you're you know, you've got the internet at your fingertips, and you're cultured, and you just fucking know everything. You know it all, and you know where you're going, and you know what you need to do. I'm here to tell you that you don't know shit, okay? I was 23 years old, and I fucking thought I knew everything. And now I'm 39, and I know nothing. So, at 23, I really don't think you should be making life-changing decisions at 23. Like, if you happen to fall into a life-changing decision, you gotta fucking man up and deal with it. You get a girl pregnant, yo, you gotta step up to the plate and do what you gotta fucking do and become a man instantly, okay? But at 23, you know, you want to get tattoos and all that shit. Hey, guess what? That shit, it doesn't come off unless you get a really painful procedure. That shit's gonna be there for a while. Okay, just know, make sure it's nice, and because if it looks like shit, that's not going anywhere for a while. Those kind of things, you know, tattoos and that kind of little silly shit, you know, it's something you might want to consider. But this, like, I can't say whether or not this guy's going to regret this or not. I don't know. I don't know this person. I don't know what they've been through. I don't know his life. But to do something like this at that young of an age, it's not, like, I think it's a mistake. What do I know? But I just I hope this person knows what they're doing, and I hope they know what they're getting into. But for you to say, because the reporter asked, "Are you sure?" Like, because you're not gonna be able to have kids, because this isn't like when you get your tubes tied or whatever, they can reverse that. This is, you're removing everything inside and out. There's no coming back from this. This once you do this, that's it. You're not gonna have a working penis again. You're not gonna have working testicles again. It's over for you. That's it. So they were like, "Are you sure you want to do it?" He's like, "Well, my plan was always to adopt anyway, so that's what I'm gonna do." No, the fuck, you're not. You should not be allowed to have children. And if you are allowed to have children, there should be people protesting that shit, because there are parents, there are people out there who don't have kids, that can't have kids, that are dying to fucking adopt kids, and they can't because of some stupid, superficial bullshit reason. And your crazy ass is changing yourself to be an alien because you fucking want to be an alien, and you think you have the mental fucking faculties to fucking adopt a kid? Are you out of your mind? You are fucking nuts. There's no way anyone in any court of law should give this guy the right to adopt. No fucking way. No way. Now we're just, come on. What the fuck's next, bro? Really? Look at the pictures of this dude. Tell me he's not fucking nuts. If you want to do this to yourself, hey, and you have the money and you want to become a fucking alien or a dinosaur, or you feel like you're a fucking tiger and you want to tiger stripe your whole body and fucking give yourself a fucking elephant penis, yo, you do whatever the fuck you want to do. But don't fucking tell me that you're gonna do all this wild shit and adopt a kid. That's not gonna fucking happen, bro. Somehow, some way, I'm putting a stop to that shit. I don't know how, but it's not gonna fucking happen. There's no way. You know. This guy was quoted as saying, "I don't want to become a woman. I want to have nothing." He wants to have nothing. I just, what else can you say about that? Benny O, get the fuck out of here. Okay? GTFO, I should have made this a segment, but it's just this kind of fucking insane madness is this type of shit I don't understand about Central Society and what's happening in this world right now. I don't get it. There's been things like this in the past, kind of, where I know there's that I mentioned the tiger, he turns himself into a tiger. There's a dude who wants to be like a cheetah or some shit. So he shaved all his body hair and tattooed himself from top to bottom like a cheetah. And I remember there was another dude who wanted to be like a shark or some shit or whatever. So he got all his teeth sharpened and shit to be pointy. And he got rid of his eyebrows permanently or some shit. And he's like got gills in his neck, and so he could look like a shark. But this is like, bro, this is really out there. So I really don't think it's, what kid, what are you gonna fucking bring your dad to show and tell? Hey, here's my dad, he's a fucking alien, guys, this is my show and tell project for you. Yeah, kid's gonna have a normal childhood. What the fuck facility would allow a fucking some freak like that to just walk out with a kid? Yeah, here you go. There you go. Enjoy that, Timmy. This is your new dad. His name is fucking Axiom. And he's from planet fucking Zelkor. And he's going to be your daddy now. You know, enjoy. Have a nice life. Make sure you come out normal. What if he decides... What if he fucking... One day, years later, he's like, oh, my son wants to join me in being an alien, so we're gonna get him the procedure. No. We don't even want to fucking... Dude, let's not go there. Let's... Please just... again, you want to do this shit to yourself? Fine. Just do it to yourself. Forget about the adoption shit. That's just not gonna fucking happen, bro. I'm gonna get off of this because I just said this is I could I could continue, but why? Dude, you just need to stop. And speaking of stopping, Tiger Woods, your boy Tiger, greatest golfer of all time, the GOAT, Big Tiger Woods. Apparently he was pulled over in Palm Coast, which is literally like right here where I live. I had no idea he was living here. Tiger Woods got pulled over. Actually, this is the original report. He was pulled over at about 2 a.m. Cops got him for a DUI. All I know is that I woke up one morning. It was actually Memorial Sunday. Woke up. Everybody was like, yo, Tiger Woods got pulled over for a DUI. What a fucking loser. And I go to read these articles. First thing I see is Tiger's mugshot. He looks like shit. And it says, Tiger arrested for DUI. Big, bold headlines everywhere. All over the fucking place. This guy's being lambasted by the fucking media and the internet and Twitter and everybody. So he got pulled over. They said he was drunk, and they took him downtown, gave him the mud shots and all that. I think they let him out on bond or something. I don't know the full story there, but that whole day, basically, sports writers, media people, reporters were all writing these stories about Tiger, how Tiger's fallen. Whatever happened to the great Tiger Woods? Will he ever be the same? He's an alcoholic now, and maybe those stories are true about what he beat his wife. Blah, 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 blah. Well, guess what? It turned out that Tiger wasn't pulled over. Tiger was on the side of the road. He had a busted tire. He was on the side of the road sleeping in his car. And it turns out the reason he was sleeping in his car is because he was hopped up on Vicodin and some other painkillers that he was taking, because that man has been forced to retire because of the massive pain that he has in his hip and his leg and his knee and his back. So he's on all kind of shit just to get through the day. Now, I am not making excuses for Tiger Woods. Obviously, you should not be taking that many medications at the same time and driving, because it says on those bottles, do not operate heavy machinery, may cause drowsiness, may cause this, may cause that. And you are told in the medical report thing that you get from your doctor, which nobody fucking reads, do not cross medications. So apparently he was crossing medications. He was fucked up on those medications. And he was coming from I don't know where. So I don't know if maybe he started feeling it and he just had to pull over and sleep. Before he fell asleep or whatever happened. So the cops approached his vehicle, saw him in there, saw who he was, got him out of the car. They gave him a breathalyzer. He came back with a 0.00 blood alcohol level. I'm going to repeat that. 0.00, meaning he had no alcohol in his system whatsoever. So how the fuck do you get DUI plastered all over these reports? How? They said in the second report that they pulled him out of the car, gave him the breathalyzer, he passed the breathalyzer, and they had this motherfucker trying to walk the white line and recite the Pledge of Allegiance backwards. Motherfucker, if I get stopped, or if I pull over to the side of the road, which thank God has never happened to me, because I know better than to... I drink when I go out to a party when I get there. And then at least 2 to 3 hours before I know I'm going to leave, I'm cut off. I'm drinking soda, which I don't really like to drink soda, or I'm pounding water until it's time to go. I do not drive drunk. I do not drive buzzed. Thank God. Because you're just... I cannot live with myself knowing that I hurt myself or somebody else while I was driving because I decided to fucking drink somewhere. Very stupid idea. I've been drunk plenty of times. I've never gotten into my car and driven home in that state because it's just irresponsible. But anyway, I digress. I'm no saint. I'm just saying. If I am pulled over to the side of the road and the cops come to my car and I'm like, yo, I was sleeping because I'm fucking exhausted. Yeah, it's kind of suspicious. So they're probably going to give me a breathalyzer, you know. Assuming I haven't been drinking, I'm just fucking exhausted. They gave me a breathalyzer. It comes out 0. They're asking me to do all kind of shit. Yo, I was asleep just now. Now, my fucking adrenaline is all fucking through the roof because there's cops on fucking asking me to do shit. I don't want to go to fucking jail. You never know what's going to happen when you're, you know, talking to a cop nowadays. Where you are and what city you're in or whatever. And this motherfucker's asking me to walk the white line. Yo, I got no balance. My balance is shit. I cannot balance myself to save my life. I trip over my own feet walking. So you're going to have me walk the white line and say the Pledge of Allegiance backwards. Yo, I could do the Pledge of Allegiance normal. Who the fuck can do the Pledge of Allegiance backwards? So, 3 in the morning, you got me walking this white fucking line. Do the Pledge of Allegiance backwards, motherfucker. What the fuck? What? I can't. I tried to do it earlier. I couldn't do it. I'm not going to try to do it now because it's going to sound like shit in the podcast. It's just... How? There's no fucking way. So they take his ass to jail, do the mugshots and all that shit. It's like, yo, of course you're going to fucking... They're like, oh, he failed the fucking... the sobriety test. Yeah. I couldn't fucking walk a straight line and do the Pledge of Allegiance backwards. Fucking forgive me. I'll do it forwards for you 1,000 times if you want. Can I do that? I can't do that shit backwards. What the fuck you think this is? I'm not a goddamn fucking tape recorder. Just fucking press rewind. Kind of dumb shit. So, my point in all this is, like, how the media is so quick to just destroy a motherfucker is like, it's amazing. They just were willing to throw those stories up there and be like, oh, they wanted to be the first one with the fucking mugshot and the headline, Tiger Woods arrested on DUI, suspicion of DUI. Everybody want to be the first one to get all the hits and get all the fucking views and all that. And it's like at the expense of fucking Tiger Woods, the greatest fucking golfer ever, who happens to be fucking black guy, that a lot of people hate. They don't want to see him fucking playing golf. They don't want to see him dominating. They don't want to see him doing any of that. So they wanted to get him the fuck out of here for years, and they couldn't get him the fuck out of here. Well, now his body basically is broken down to the point where he's no longer the Tiger Woods of old. So he's basically not playing anymore. And, you know, people are happy about that shit, obviously, for whatever reason. And, you know, there's still people looking to actually destroy totally the image and like identity of Tiger Woods. For what reason? I could speculate, but I don't want to go into, you know, that whole thing, because that's just a whole other conversation of why, you know, black men needs to be emasculated and why they have to all, you know, famous black men have to be fucking broken down, and they can never just be famous and rich and successful. There always has to be a fucking asterisk or a stigma. I don't want to get into all that because it's touchy, and this is not the podcast, you know, about that. I try to keep it light, and I like to give my opinion on things, but I don't want to get too, like, whatever about it. But I thought it was just sad how everybody just want to jump on Tiger's back. But yo, Tiger, I got you, bro. You know, yeah, I got you, bro. If I ever run into you out here in Palm Coast, Florida, we'll go out and have a non-alcoholic beverage, speak on it, interview you on my podcast, so you can get your point across, yo. Just stop fucking with them prescription drugs, my nigga. I know you need the painkillers, but yo, just don't cross the streams, bro. Everybody learned that back in '83 when Ghostbusters came out. You never cross the streams. It's not a good thing, bro. So just Tiger, stay up, bro. Don't let them fucking destroy you, bro. It's just that I know, it's that pain is a motherfucker, but just long story short, bro, the media is trash. That's it. Fuck the media. It's Everything Podcast. Fade out a little bit here because I want to talk to you guys about a serious issue that happened a few days ago in Portland. Don't really think it's appropriate to have music in the background for this, but it's fading out, so I'll do something a little different here. I'm gonna actually read off this article that I read on CNN because it basically gives you everything. Because I wanted to write some of this down because usually I don't write shit down. I just scribble keywords so that I can glance at it real quick and make sure not to forget talking points. But this situation required a little more respect, and what I'm gonna do is just pull up. I had the article here, and I just want to go ahead and read this in case you don't know what happened. There was a stabbing on a train in Portland. Some madman some psycho who decided to go nuts and mess with these two girls, who I'm assuming they were from Arab descent because one of them was wearing a hijab, and this fucking psycho went nuts. So I'm gonna go ahead and read this story, and then I'll give thoughts afterwards. But the point of this is that if you haven't heard it, you should know about it. And 2 people died because of this, and I just think that they should be recognized as heroes. So I'm just gonna go ahead and read it, and then we'll go from there. So this article is off of CNN, and I'll give credit afterwards to the writer because it's really informative. But I'm just going to go ahead and start it off. So this, of course, happened in Portland, Oregon. And the article starts off saying, after his arrest, Jeremy Joseph Christian, who's the suspect, sat in the back of a police car and said, "I stabbed the 2 blanks in the neck and I'm happy now." The police car, equipped with audio and video recording devices, captured statements from Christian, a suspect in the stabbing deaths of 2 people on a Portland light rail. "I think I stabbed blanks in the neck for fun? Oh yeah, you're right I do. I'm a patriot." His recorded statements in the police car were revealed in an affidavit released on Tuesday. "That's what liberalism gets you," he was recorded saying. "I hope they all die. I'm going to say that on the stand. I'm a patriot and I hope everyone that I stabbed died. Christian faces 9 counts. He faces 9 charges. 2 counts of aggravated murder, attempted aggravated murder, first-degree assault, 3 counts of unlawful use of a weapon, and 2 counts of intimidation. The aggravated murder charges carry a maximum penalty of death. Oregon has not executed a prisoner in more than 2 decades. The Deputy District Attorney affidavit revealed the most detailed account so far of what happened inside the light rail train on Friday. It cited train security video and passenger cell phone video when Christian, 35, boarded a Max Light Rail train on Friday at 4:15 p.m. at the Rose Quarter stop. He went on a tirade directed at 2 African-American teenagers on board, one of whom was wearing a traditional Muslim hijab, according to witnesses. Pay taxes. Get the fuck out. Go home. We need Americans here, Christian screamed, according to the affidavit. Destiny Magnum, one of the girls targeted in his outburst, said to KPTV, "He told us to go back to Saudi Arabia and he told us we shouldn't be here and to get out of his country. His country. He was telling us that we basically weren't anything and that we should kill ourselves." Security video on the train captured Christian drinking from a large container full of purple liquid that he later identified as sangria. One of the passengers, identified in court documents as Mr. Ford, tried to calm Christian down, but the rants continued. Ford told the police he heard Christian say something about decapitating heads. Frightened by his outburst, Magnum and her friend moved to the back of the train to get away from this guy. She told KPTV that the stranger intervened, telling Christian he shouldn't disrespect girls in such a way. Then they all just started arguing. Shouting then turned into bloodshed as the strangers jumped in. Videos from the train camera and passengers' phones showed Christian making a sudden move towards one of the victims. Taliesin Majorin Namakai Mesh, 23 of Portland, who responded by standing up, according to the deputy prosecutor's affidavit. Christian was standing very close to Namakai Mesh's face and shouted, "Do something blank." Another passenger, Micah Fletcher, stood up also. "Do something," Christian shouted as he shoved Fletcher in the chest and appeared to pull a folded knife from his pocket that he concealed in his hand. Fletcher shoved Christian so hard that the suspect lost balance. Fletcher told Christian to get off the train, according to the affidavit. "Hit me again," Christian replied. Video showed Christian swinging his arm and in one motion opening the knife and stabbing Fletcher in the neck. Christian next stabbed Namakai Mesh twice in the neck, the affidavit stated. Ricky John Best, 53 years old, of Happy Valley, moved forward to intervene and he was stabbed in the neck. Christian pushed Best into... No, don't close that. Christian pushed Best into Namakai Mesh, who was trying to stop the bleeding from his wound. He then stabbed both men again, according to the affidavit. Chase Robinson, a passenger on the train, thought that a fistfight had broken out and tried to break it up. "I go to reach out and start pulling apart and then I see there's just blood everywhere," Robinson told CNN affiliate KATU. When the train came to a stop, the Hollywood Transit Center terrified passengers fled, but some stayed behind to tend to the victims. Fletcher was also clutching his neck, exited the train as the passengers on the platform tried to help him. He was treated for his injuries and released by the hospital. Fletcher said in an interview with CNN affiliate KPTV that his injuries missed being fatal by 1 millimeter. Meanwhile, video showed Christian grabbing his belongings and leaving the train. Christian was waving his knife when he got off the train. He threatened several people on the platform with his knife, according to the affidavit. He threatened several people on the platform with his knife, according to the affidavit. Christian also grabbed the bag dropped by a Muslim teenager and tossed it onto the freeway as he exited. Several witnesses followed Christian, worried that he would get away, and directed his whereabouts to a police officer, according to local media. Some passengers stayed behind to help Best and Namakai Mesh. Best fell to the floor and at least 2 men rushed over to start CPR. Rachel Macy, a witness, told Oregonian Best, a veteran and father of 4, died at the scene. A mortally wounded Namakai Mesh lay on the floor of the train. Macy gave her tank top so he could press it on his neck wound, and she placed her hand over his. She and another man stayed by the recent college graduate's side and told Oregonian. I just kept telling him, you're not alone, we're here. Macy was quoted in the newspaper. What you did was total kindness. You were such a beautiful man. I'm sorry this world is so cruel. When medics arrived to take Namakai Mesh to the hospital, he told her, tell everyone on this train I love them. This article was written by Stephanie Becker, reporter from Portland. Madison Park wrote from San Francisco. Ralph Ellis, Elliot Laughlin, Karma Hassan, Samira Said, Paul Veskaman, and Dakin Adon contributed to this report. Now, you're going to see a lot of people giving their rhetoric about this and blaming it on this person. The left is going to blame the right's going to blame the left, and everyone in between is going to blame everybody else. This guy was a psycho. That's the bottom line. This guy is a psychopath. I think about shit like this every day. I like people that hurt animals, people who commit murders, rapists, child molesters. I think sometimes I'm talking to my wife and I'm like, yo, how do these people like how do you do that? How do you fucking tape a dog's mouth shut? How do you stab somebody? How do you just shoot somebody in the face with no regard? And then she told me one time, she's like, it's not for you to understand because you're not nuts. These people are nuts. They're out of their mind, and there needs to be better mental health like facilities in this country. Like, how much longer are we going to continue this shit? It's not Donald Trump's fault that some fucking guy went on a train and started stabbing people. It's not his fault. It's not, people are nuts. People are out of their fucking mind. And they're on all these medications. They're making themselves fucking even crazier. This shit has to stop somewhere. And I don't want to, I'm not here to, judge anybody. But the fact that Oregon has a death penalty, I hope to God that this guy is taken out and we never hear from this person again. Because he's trying to get all these quotables and things out and saying all this wild shit. This guy's nuts. Stop letting him talk. Book him, arraign his ass. Throw the fucking book at him. Give him the fucking death penalty and get him the fuck out of here, bro. All these people who do this mass murder shit, who are yelling out this bullshit, who are going after kids, who aren't fucking bothering anybody, just sitting there being a fucking Muslim, wearing a hijab, and you gotta get accosted on a train by some fucking psycho. Get all these motherfuckers the fuck out of here. They gotta go. That's it. I believe in the fucking death penalty for shit like this. You take a life, you gotta get the fuck out of here. That's just as simple. I don't care who that offends. I don't care if that's not what you don't believe. That's it. These two people were like upstanding citizens who stood up for these two girls, and they're dead now. They're dead. Because of some fucking psycho. Because of a psycho. When is this shit gonna end? It's never gonna end. These people are just gonna get more nuts, and they're gonna do crazier shit. Because we're not doing anything to help the situation. We're not doing anything to help these homeless people. We're not doing anything to help these people with mental health issues except pump them full of drugs. So, unfortunately, we're going to see more of this shit. And with the way things are now, and you just, all you're seeing on TV is hate, hate, hate. And this one against that one. And it's just, that's all you're seeing. It's never going to stop. So I just wanted to be sure to say those names out loud, man. Those two people, they should be recognized as heroes, and it just sucks for their families that they're no longer here when they just try to do something honorable and stand up for two people who weren't able to defend themselves. It's really sad. It's actually beyond sad. it's just really, it's disgusting. And I'm actually out of, I don't really know what else to say. I just wanted to make sure that Ricky John Best and Nemakai Mesh, that your names get spoken. Rest in peace, and thank you for what you did. You two, in my book, are heroes. You should be considered American heroes. What else can you say? This is the Everything Podcast. Thank you very much for tuning into this episode, and I hated to end it on this kind of morose level, on a morose topic like that, but you know, this is what we do here. Sometimes it's, you get a range of emotions listening to this podcast, so this is what it is. That's why it's called the Everything Podcast. So thank you guys for the support. I appreciate all of you. Hit me up on social media. Remember, tonight, going to be on Stick to Sports on the Robin Lundberg Show tonight on YouTube, 8 p.m. You can see it on YouTube, or you can go to callinsticktosports.com and stream it on there. I'll be posting that link out too on social media for anybody who wants to utilize that. So, kind of a bummer way to end the episode, but guys, just thank you very much. I appreciate all of you, and remember, the beginning of wisdom is the realization that you don't know much. Peace.